it's Michelle with Scrap Secrets, and I'm here with a Valentine's Day card that I'm going to try to make on camera. See how this goes. I don't usually make cards on camera because A, I don't have a good angle to usually film these videos, and also I usually change my mind about 1,000,000 times and it takes me so long to make a card. So I have a pretty good idea of what I want to do, so I want to show you the supplies that we're going to be using. So the inks that we're going to use are the StazOn ink Blazing Red for the sentiment, the Studio G pink ink. I don't think it actually has a name. I think it's just pink. Memento ink Angel Pink, Memento ink Rosebud. We're going to use some of this washi tape, and I believe this is Recollections. To save time, I already cut out this memory box die from Simon Says Stamp that's You, and I cut it out 3 times in this Studio G paper pack. This is the color that I picked. It's like a pink brick. So cut it out 3 times because we're going to do some layering. I used these stamps from Recollections, and these are the alphabet. They look like old typewriter keys. So use the uppercase L and the OVE from the lowercase ones. And I mounted them onto my Fiskars stamp press. I also cut the card base to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So it's a standard A2 size card. I cut that out of red cardstock. It's just the Recollections 65-pound paper. And then I cut a 3 3/4 by 5-inch piece of white cardstock, and that's also Recollections white cardstock. So, first thing I want to do is put the U together. So, what I've done is I cut the word U out 3 times from that same paper. And what I'm going to do is just layer them together. And I'm just going to use my Zig 2A glue pen to apply a couple of dots around the letters. You don't have to put glue all over the whole thing, but just some dots on some of the points. I'm going to use my tweezers to hopefully line this up perfectly. So what this is going to do is almost make it like a chipboard piece. It's going to give it some dimension, make it stand up off the card a little bit, but also make it a little bit thicker and easier to see. These are so thin and tiny, the loops and everything. You can see how delicate a cut that is. So I'm going to do that one more time. And you can do this with any die, and you can do it as many times as you want to get the look that you want. So if you would like a thicker piece to make it look more like chipboard, then you could cut it out a couple more times, but I thought 3 times would be good for this. Okay, try to layer it perfectly. It's pretty good. Okay, so here's what it looks like. It's a little bit thicker. So it's going to stand off the card base just a little bit. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is stamp the word love. So I've lined it up on my stamp press. I've actually used the lines from my Self-Healing mat, which is a basic gray mat, and line them up and then put them down on the Fiskars stamp press using the lines. I've never used these before, so I'm actually going to do a test stamp before. I just have some scratch paper around over here. I just want to see how well it stamps. I actually normally stamp on a mouse pad just to give some little cushioning behind it. And there you go. It stamps pretty well. So I'm going to take my paper now, re-ink the stamp in the Blazing Red StazOn ink. Make sure that it's covered nice and good. And I'm going to stamp it a little off-centered, more to the right side. Actually, More to the left, I'm sorry. I went the wrong way. Press it down. And that's how it turned out. I think it looks cute. Alright, and then I'm going to put this ink off to the side. I may use the red ink again, I'm not sure. And now what I'm going to do is take that same scratched piece of paper out because I'm going to be stamping the background. I'm going to do a bunch of hearts, and I'm going to take the colors and then just use them all over the background. I'm going to actually start with the largest. It's easier to start with the largest image when you're doing the background because then you can go in and fill in the blank spots. Make sure it stamps okay. It's stamped pretty light. I'm going to try it again. Okay. I'm inking it up with the Studio G pink ink. I'm just going to put a heart down here. Okay, so I stamped that heart, and I'm going to clean off the stamp a little bit. Just use an old baby wipe. And my mini mister filled with water. So that's what it looks like. It didn't stamp great, but it's just going to be the background, so I don't know actually how much you're going to see of it. So I'm going to take one of the other larger hearts and ink it up with Angel Pink. And I usually like to test things out on a scrap piece of paper just to make sure that the stamp is prepped, because if you've never used it before, you really do need to prep your stamps, especially the clear ones. I would try stamping it a couple times on a scratch piece of paper, kind of just to prime it. And then I'm going to stamp this kind of off in the corner. It's kind of just got get that little bit of pattern. Going to keep switching my inks back and forth. I know I've used this one before, so yeah, that one came out pretty good. So that's what I do, just go back and forth amongst the colors and the stamps. I really like the way that darker pink came out. I'll do this one in darker pink as well. The nice thing about clear stamps is you can see where you've stamped them, so if you don't get a great stamp the first time, you can go back over it. That's pretty good. The pink seems to be working really well. Let's try this one. And the polka dot. I know this is riveting footage. I try to wipe up any of the excess ink that gets on the background so that it doesn't make it onto the card. And so it doesn't stain your block. So let's try some of the little ones. Did that one already. Okay. Probably going to try some of the red ink now since I didn't use any of that yet. And go back to the Stays On. Add a little bit there. Got some ink on the other heart. I'm just trying not to. going to use the smaller hearts and go back in and fill in the spaces that need to be filled in. Do some red. Do some light pink. And you can use the larger ones and just ink up a portion of the stamp and bring that in like the heart was going off the page, like that. Okay, so I think that's pretty good. I think that's, so cap all my ink off, and then we can start to assemble the card. Bring in the card base. Alright, now the little U piece that I put on there, I want to put kind of in that empty spot right underneath the love, but more towards the right. So I'm going to put some of that same Zig two-way glue on the back of this. Dab it down. And the nice thing about the Zig two-way glue is if you let it dry a little bit, and the glue is blue when it's wet, and if you allow it to dry a little bit and it'll turn white, it actually becomes repositionable adhesive. So you could actually use it to put a mask down, a stencil down, so that you can do whatever you need to do and then easily remove it from your project. So here's what the front of the card looks like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a little bit of ATG tape on the back of it, just to hold it down, but then I'm going to show you one way to use your washi tape. So here's this. I'm going to center it. So here's the card. Now what I'm going to do is use this washi tape to make it look like it's being held down by this tape. So what I'm going to do, take some washi tape, tear it. That's the nice thing about washi, it tears very, very easily. You don't have to make it look nice and even. And then you can cut off the excess. Let's make it look like the tape is holding the card down. Probably just use this piece up here. And there you go. There's a very simple one-layer Valentine's Day card with some stamping and some die cuts. So hope you guys enjoyed this. It's probably one of the first cards I've ever done on video, so hopefully this is a good camera angle and it's good enough video. You guys let me know if you like this angle and if you like me making cards or just showing you guys what I've already made. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please feel free to leave comments and questions below, and I will see you guys soon. Bye! Hi everyone, I'm back with just a tiny update. When I was finished, I kept looking at the card and I thought that it needed something else. It had a little bit too much white space for me, and also there was a couple little places where there was a little bit of some ink smudges. I don't know if it was from I drug my hand over a heart that wasn't dry yet, or if it was from one heart to another, because I loaded these two on the same block. But for whatever reason, there was a couple of smudges. So I went through my closet and found this Studio G glitter glue in a dark pink. And this is what I did. I put some dots all over the background, and I think that it fills in the white spots nicely, so there's just enough white on the background, and the dots make it just pop just a little bit more. So this is the actual final card. I haven't done the inside, and I don't know that I'm going to do anything to the inside, but this is the outside of it. I just wanted to give you an update and show you the final card, because I think I like this one much better than the one that I showed you at the very end of the last video. So thanks for watching, and I will see you guys later. Bye!